Hello, everyone, and hello to all the Giants fans. Now, if you saw my rant from Monday, you know one thing. I expected that we were going to keep Joke Judge, as the head coach of the New York Giants for the 2022 NFL season. But yet, I got the notification last night. I was at my brother's chorus concert. Right before the show started, I got the notification Joe Judge has been fired as head coach of the New York Giants. And all I can say is, hallelujah! John Mara saw the light, he saw what needed to be done, and he frickin' did it. He fired Joe Judge after an abysmal end to the 2021 season. Just getting humiliated week in and week out, losses by double-digit points. I don't care who the quarterback is. The Giants showed no signs of competitive life in those games. So, the NFL really is a brutal business, because just a year ago, in 2020, not too long ago, we were all sold on Joe Judge. The Giants fan base, we were all sold on him. We were like, he's a tough guy. He's going to get these guys into shape. He's going to start building a winner. He knows how to talk. Just a year later, all of that crumbled apart. All of that crumbled apart with his 11-minute rant, with his sneaking on 3rd and 9, the quarterback sneak from his own 4-yard line, with his horrible mismanagement of timeouts during the game. It just became apparent throughout this season that Joe Judge is not an NFL level head coach. He's just not. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I'm sure, firing sucks. It's part of the business, though. But the NFL is a results-oriented business, and when you don't deliver those results, cut your losses. Like I said, like I was thinking about Mara, like on Monday, because I was so upset that they didn't fire him. I'm like, these guys are all like, I think Mara's justification for maybe wanting to keep Judge was, oh, we got to have stability. We can't just keep cycling through coaches over and over again. Well, when you know you don't have the guy, you don't have the guy. You fire him. You cut your losses, and that's exactly what the Giants did with Joe Judge. Now the question becomes replacing him, because that is quite the question. You have to have the right coach in this league. There's a few select teams that have just had the right coach for the longest time, like the Patriots with Belichick, the Saints with Sean Payton, the Chiefs with Andy Reid. Just a couple. There's only really a few coaches out there. Steelers with Mike Tomlin, although you could debate how good a coach he is. Ravens with John Harbaugh. There's a couple stable franchises that have just found the right coach and have just stuck with him for years and years. So that's what I want with the Giants, obviously. I don't want some guy, like, when the Giants make their hire, I want to believe in my heart that the guy we're hiring is going to be there for the next 10 plus years. And the sad thing is, I believe that about Joe Judge. I believe that about him. Like I said, Giants fans, we were sold on him. We were sold on Joe Judge, and but he was just a snake oil salesman. We bought into what he preached, and then he just completely let us down in this 2021 season. So, 2022 lies ahead. It will lie ahead without Joe Judge. Who should we bring on to replace him? That is the interesting question. Now, there is tons of head coaching candidates available. The thing I'm starting to worry about is, with the way we've cycled through head coaches like madness and the dysfunction of the organization, I am worried that the Giants will not get a good head coach. There's obviously some good ones on the market. Jim Harbaugh has been a possible suggestion if he leaves Michigan. I would totally be down with Harbaugh because of the way he turned around the 49ers during his tenure there, because the 49ers, before Harbaugh got there, were one of the most dysfunctional messes in all the NFL. They were terrible. They were year after year just terrible, kind of like the Giants are right now. They were a mess. They had this quarterback, Alex Smith, that no one believed in. Why were they even holding on to him? He got them to a 13-3 record his very first season there. I'm not saying he could turn around the Giants like that, but, who knows? turnarounds are very possible in this league, and with a coach like Harbaugh, he's got that Parcells in him where he like turns around a team. You want to talk about a Parcells mirror? Well, here you go. This is a guy who turns around teams, in Jim Harbaugh. The other guy, the other sexy name, so to speak, is Brian Flores, who just got fired by the Dolphins, and everyone is like, why the hell did they fire him? Because he had had a successful tenure, I would say, with the Dolphins, all things considered. He went 9-8 with Tua Tagovailoa at quarterback, and no one really believed in Tua. And yet he guided them to a winning record. He guided them to a complete turnaround after a 1-7 start. They went 10-6 the year before with some combination of Tua and Ryan Fitzpatrick at quarterback. And the year before that, he went 5-11 with a roster that everyone thought would go 1-15. So the thing about Brian Flores is he has mastered his side of the ball, the defensive side of the ball. He's mastered it, and he's a great defensive coach. Um, but the thing about bringing Brian Flores in here is you bring him in as head coach, and like I said, that would be awesome. But you got to bring in a good offensive coordinator too, because the way this league is structured, most of the coaches in the NFL playoffs, if you look around, Matt LaFleur, Andy Reid, look at these coaches. I mean, they're just all offensive guys. Sean McVay, Cliff Kingsbury. I believe every coach in the NFC side of the playoffs is an offensive coach. I'm trying to just think of them off the top of my head. Okay, Mike McCarthy, no one likes him, but still, he is an offensive coach. And, they're all offensive guys. Bruce Arians, all offensive guys. So, if you do hire Brian Flores, you got to hire a good offensive coordinator as well. That's the thing. You got to hire a good offensive coordinator. So, with that being said, there are some offensive coaches who you could just hire and get just an offensive guy as well as a head coach. And there's been a few names for that on the market as well, such as Nathaniel Hackett, the Green Bay Packers offensive coordinator. Now, I'm skeptical about a guy like that because, let's be real here, he maybe has benefited from the talent of Aaron Rodgers. Again, let's be real here. When you have a guy like Aaron Rodgers, it makes your job a lot easier. I mean, people don't give Matt LaFleur a lot of credit for going 13-3 and 13-3 and 13-4, just winning season after season, winning and winning and winning. People don't give Matt LaFleur credit because he has Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. So I feel like similarly, Nathaniel Hackett, like, you really want to bring a guy in here who maybe has been carried by Aaron Rodgers? I don't know. He is an offensive coach, though, and like I said, that's the way the league has been trending. But another coach that I might be excited about is Brian Daboll, the offensive coordinator of the Bills. He actually turned around Josh Allen from being sort of this erratic, turnover-prone quarterback into a quarterback who in 2020 had an MVP caliber season. He regressed to the mean a little bit this season, but Josh Allen is still a fantastic quarterback, and you wonder what he could possibly do for Daniel Jones or whoever is our quarterback in 2022 or beyond. That's another issue. Daniel Jones, who knows if he's going to even be our quarterback next year. I think they probably will keep him around another year just to see what we got in him. But, you look for these offensive guys to develop a quarterback. You look for a Brian Daboll. You possibly look for a Nathaniel Hackett. And that's if you don't get one of these guys like Brian Flores or Jim Harbaugh, who I would say are the quote-unquote sexy hires. Like, these are the guys you want leading your football team. These are guys with head coach experience, not some special team coordinator who, or the next offensive coordinator. Like Harbaugh and Flores are the guys with head coaching experience. So those are definite hires. GM, I don't know what the Giants are going to do with GM. I am not really aware of the candidates. I just know that apparently John Mara and this management group are looking outside the organization for GM, which is just hallelujah. We do not want Kevin Abrams in here. We do not want someone who's had the stench of the last 10 years as this general manager. We want someone who is outside the organization, someone who's been with one of these successful 14 teams that are in the playoffs, some sort of assistant GM. We don't want some 65-year-old fossil like Dave Gettleman. We want a young, analytics driven guy. And I know people get offended by the word analytics. You can take it to an extreme like Brandon Staley did against the Raiders, like going for it on fourth down on your own 18. Come on now. But we want someone who isn't a complete fossil like Dave Gettleman. That's my point. We want someone who understands the modern NFL in our next GM. And we want that in our head coach, too. We want a head coach who understands the modern NFL. Um, yeah, that's basically all I got in this video. So if you enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe to my channel. I shall be posting some more Giants content in the future.